Hi friends, welcome back to Table Full of Joy. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, welcome. If you've been following along for a while, welcome back. So happy Valentine's Day. I am so excited about today. I am making a special dinner for my husband tonight for Valentine's Day. I'm not a big person that likes to go out to dinner. I just don't like it. It's just not my thing. I love to cook. I would much prefer to make him a nice meal at home, make something that he loves to eat. So I'm making one of his favorite dishes, Tuscan chicken. I've made this many times, but I've also seen my sweet friend Sammi at Managing the Maze do it several times, and made my husband think about it, and so he's been wanting me to make it again. So I'm making it tonight for a surprise for him. I will leave Sammy's video of her doing Tuscan chicken in the description below for you guys. Check out her channel. It's an amazing channel. She's such a sweet lady, and I absolutely love her version of Tuscan chicken, although I do mine just a little bit different. But you can see the difference between the two, so that's why I'm going to leave the link for you guys for her version down in the description. She actually has two versions, so I'll leave both of those for you guys so you can check those out. But we're going to start with dessert because it needs to sit in the fridge for a while, needs to chill out. So come on my kitchen as we make Valentine's dinner for my husband. All right, friends, so we are making dessert first. As I said, I am making a recipe that sometimes people, when they hear it, they're like, that's so scary to make. It's really not. Pot de crème is a French dessert. It is basically like a really rich chocolate custard, or like a kind of like a, not really a mousse because they don't really put heavy cream in it. I put heavy cream in it just a little bit when I make it. But to me, it's a rich, delicious dessert. Super, super easy. I like to make it in these little glass jars. I save these from yogurt. These were from I forget what brand of yogurt it was, but anyway, I used to eat this yogurt all the time. I saved a whole bunch of these because these are super cute for little individual desserts when we have guests. But I'm going to make our dessert in these tonight. But before we get started on our pot de crème, we need to process some strawberries. I am making this dessert a little bit different than, I'm using the recipe as a guide, Pioneer Woman's recipe. It's a fantastic pot de crème recipe. I've used it for years and years and years, but I wanted something a little bit different tonight because it is Valentine's Day. I wanted something a little special, something a little bit sweet, and so I'm gonna do some strawberries in the bottom of this, and in the middle I'm gonna layer our pot de crème. So we're just gonna cut our strawberry so we have some nice diced pieces, and we're gonna put a little bit in the bottom of this, and then we're gonna make our pot de crème. We're gonna put some pot de crème on top of the strawberries, some more strawberries, some more pot de crème, and then we are gonna finish it tonight when we serve it with some fresh whipped cream and some beautiful strawberries on top for presentation. So let's go ahead and put some strawberries in the bottom of our bowl, or our little container here that we're making our dessert in. And as I said, this is a super, super easy recipe to do. So easy. But it's an absolutely beautiful dessert. I love it, and I especially love being able to make it with adding some extra fruit and things to it. So typically her recipe calls for 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. My husband and I love dark chocolate. We are huge dark chocolate fans. So I'm gonna do the majority dark chocolate, and I'm gonna do the rest of it semi-sweet. So we've got 10 ounces of dark chocolate. We're gonna dump that right in our blender. And we've got 2 ounces of semi-sweet. We're gonna put that in. Got a couple down there that are stuck. Let me grab my knife. We don't want to waste any of our chocolate. All right, there we go. Okay, so the other thing that I'm gonna do, she puts, you can put Grand Marnier in it, you can put any kind of alcohol. I'm not gonna go that route tonight. I'm gonna do some almond extract, or not tonight, today. I'm gonna do some almond extract, but I'm also gonna put in a little bit of vanilla bean. I love fresh vanilla bean. So I have a whole vanilla bean here. And if you've never worked with vanilla bean, oh my gosh, I highly recommend you try it, because vanilla bean is such an amazing smell and it has such an incredible taste versus vanilla extract. So if you ever have a chance to do some vanilla bean, I suggest you do it. So let's go ahead and we're gonna split our vanilla bean right down the middle, because we need to expose this beautiful caviar. It's kind of hard to see on camera. I don't know if you guys can even see this, but so you just take the back of your knife, and that's going to separate all of this beautiful caviar, is what they call it, from the inside of our vanilla bean. So we're just going to take our knife, we're going to go right down the center of this. And this vanilla bean is not cooperating today for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. It's not wanting to open it. There we go. Okay, now we got it opened up. All right, let's get in here and get this. All right, I'll show you guys what this looks like. Let me get this off my fingers. This is precious, precious stuff. See all that right there? That is vanilla bean. That is the seeds inside this vanilla bean. And that is where so much flavor lives, is right inside this. So we want to make sure we get all of this in here, because that's going to add some beautiful flavor. We don't want to miss any of this. So let's get this off our cutting board. Get this down in here. Okay. Now I save my vanilla bean. After I split it open like this, and I get all of that beautiful caviar out of there, I save that vanilla bean, because I'm going to put that in some sugar, and we're going to have vanilla sugar for all kinds of fun things that we need to do. So we've got our vanilla bean in there, we've got our almond extract, we've got our 2 kinds of chocolate ready to go. Now we're going to add eggs. And I don't want you to freak out that we're putting raw eggs in with chocolate and it's not going on the stove or in a double boiler or anything like that. You can cook eggs with residual heat. They don't really take very long to cook. And so that's why when you're doing like a carbonara, you don't have to cook your eggs. You can mix your eggs into your pasta and just use the residual heat from your pasta water that's going to cook your eggs. It's the same thing with this. We're going to put hot coffee in our blender with it running. So let's get a little bit of salt, because as we know, when we're doing things with sweet, we need to add a little bit of salt to it, because our salt helps balance the flavors out. Let's give ourselves a little bit of room here. All right, I'm going to start my coffee. Do it 1 more minute. This is going to be very loud, so bear with me for a second. So we're going to turn this to grind, because that's going to be the easiest one, I think. We're going to start this. As I said, it's going to be really, really loud, so just hold for 1 second. All right, so we blended this up, just our eggs and our chocolate and our vanilla bean. Oh my gosh, if you guys could smell this, it is incredible. So that's what it looks like right now. So what I do to mine that Pioneer Woman doesn't do to hers is, before I add my hot coffee, because I don't want to curdle it, I add a little bit of heavy cream to this and I get it started. And we're talking like maybe a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. So we're not putting a whole lot in there, but we're going to go ahead and blend this up a little bit longer with our heavy cream, and then we're going to add our hot coffee. We are going to put in our hot coffee. We're going to pour this straight in through the feed tube up here. So bear with the noise just for another minute. We're going to pour our hot coffee in here, and we're going to let this blend until it is nice and light and fluffy and beautiful and velvety. And this is going to make the most amazing special dessert for Valentine's Day. And what did it take? 5 minutes? So here we go. Machine back on. Hot coffee going in. Hold for the noise. Wait until you see this, friends. Oh my goodness. The smell coming out of, oh my gosh. So you can see a little bit of steam, possibly, a little bit of steam coming out of the top of that blender. And it's hot. I'm telling you, it's hot because our coffee was scalding hot. So here's our chocolate mixture. Oh my gosh, this smells so incredible. Let's give it a little bit of a taste. Let's put a strawberry on it. Let's get an idea of what that chocolate and strawberry is going to be like together for dessert. Oh my gosh, that is going to be so incredible tonight. I can't wait. So I made way more than I needed, which is fine because it's going to keep in our refrigerator for at least a few days. It's a very light dessert, and because we did dark chocolate and a little bit of semi-sweet chocolate, you can see we didn't add any extra sugar to it. There's no sugar going in this. The only sugar that's coming into this is from the chocolate itself. So this is not super sweet. It has a really strong chocolate flavor. The coffee, you don't taste coffee. What you taste is chocolate intensified. That's what the coffee does to it. So I'm excited about this. I'm going to just pour a little bit of this. I keep forgetting this has a spout. We're going to pour just a little bit of this into our cup over our strawberries. Let's go ahead and do the other one. We're going to take a little bit more of our strawberry. We're going to do another layer of strawberry right on top. Looks like we need to do one more strawberry because we are out of diced. Let's use this one. This one doesn't have an absolute beautiful top on it, but it's going to be okay for what we're doing. Let's just get a little bit more of this not so ripe stuff on the top. So this is going to go and sit in our refrigerator. The rest of this, we're going to put this in a container, and it's just going to hang out until we're ready for dessert tonight after dinner. That's what I love about this dessert. It is so easy, so simple, but it's so stunning when you see it. Like I said, it took us, 5 minutes to make this. And the thing is, you're not going to see the strawberries really because they're down inside that chocolate. That's going to be a sweet little surprise tonight. I'm not going to tell my husband that I put strawberries in this. I'm going to let him figure that out on his own. Let's clean up our top a little bit. And I'm going to just put these in the fridge. I'm going to let these sit. And tonight before we have dessert, I'm going to whip a little bit more cream so we can have just a little bit of a dollop of fresh cream on top. I still have some strawberries, so I will garnish this with a whole strawberry on top. And I'm excited. This is going to be so good. So good. The flavor of this is amazing. I hope you guys will make this. Having a blender makes it so easy to do this. You're not dirtying up a bunch of dishes. You're not trying to do a double boiler. You're not trying to melt chocolate. You're not trying to do all those things. Throw it all in the blender. Let the blender do the work for you. So I'm gonna get these in the fridge, get the rest of this in a container so it can keep for a couple of days. We'll have it later, and we're gonna get on with the rest of our dinner. As I said, we're making Tuscan chicken tonight. We're gonna do some mashed potatoes in the crock pot. All right, friends, so we are going to do some mashed potatoes to go with our Tuscan chicken tonight for Valentine's Day for my husband. So we are going to do them in the crock pot. I've done them in the crock pot before. I actually did them in the crock pot for Thanksgiving, and they turned out amazing. But I've seen several people on YouTube doing potatoes in the crock pot using chicken stock and adding onion and garlic powder to them. So we're gonna try that. This just saves me time of having to stand in here and watch a pot of potatoes, which I don't really want to do. So we're gonna just go ahead and do some crock pot potatoes today. This way I can get the potatoes started, I can get them cooking, and then I can go do what I need to do and I don't have to stand here and babysit them, which is perfect for me because I have a lot of things to get done, and standing in here watching potatoes, not my idea of a good time. So we are going to take some help from our crock pot. We're going to let it do the work for us. And what I love is that as soon as these are done, I can come in, I can mash them directly in my crock pot, and they're going to be perfect. This potato has a little bit of a bad spot in it. Looks like this one does too. I want to eat brown potato, so we're gonna pick that out. So anyway, what I was saying is, so we're gonna put these in here. We're gonna be able to go and do what we need to do this afternoon and not have to worry about these. And they're gonna cook. When they're done, we're gonna mash them. We're gonna leave it on warm, and they're just gonna hang out for the rest of the day until we're ready to do our chicken and have dinner. Let's see if I can get this open. These things, I don't have very big hands, so this lid is always so huge. All right, so we're just gonna we're not gonna go super heavy. We're just gonna do about a half of a teaspoon of our chicken better than bouillon is what I like to use. So we're gonna put that in there. We're gonna go ahead and put in some onion powder and some garlic powder just to add some more flavor to our potatoes. So we're gonna do a half a teaspoon of each of those. I love getting my spices at Winco, our little local grocery store that we have here. It's an employee-owned grocery store, and so I love supporting them and getting my herbs in the bulk section, because then I can get what I need. I'm not paying for a bottle if I've already got one at home. So we're gonna do a half a teaspoon. This is the garlic powder. This just apparently gives it extra flavor, which I'm all about, getting as much flavor into a potato as you can, because we both know that potatoes have zero flavor. All right, so we're gonna toss these little pieces in the garbage. We're gonna get some water. So we want enough water to cover our potatoes. There's 2 cups. Let's put this in here. That gives us 4 cups of water. Our potatoes are covered. We're gonna put our lid on. We're gonna put this on low, and we're gonna let this cook for, actually let's put this on high, because it is 2:30 right now. My husband will be home in an hour, and he is probably going to want to eat in about 2 hours. So I want to make sure that I have everything done and ready when he gets home. So we're gonna let this cook, and we will come back and mash our potatoes when they're done. Friends, we are ready to finish dinner. Our potatoes, let me bring you in so you can see these real quick. We did our potatoes in our crock pot today. We let them cook for about 2.5 to 3 hours. We just drained them, and you can see how tender these are. So we're gonna get those finished, but first I have to show you something amazing. Ignore my dishes in the sink, but you have to see my new faucet. Hubby just put this in for me for Valentine's Day. I absolutely love it. This is so awesome. It's so nice to have an actual sprayer now in our sink. So that was an awesome Valentine's Day present. I am not much for flowers and chocolates and that kind of stuff. I would rather have something that is a useful gift. And since I spend so much time in my kitchen, that was an amazing gift for me. So we're gonna get started on our potatoes real quick while they're still hot. We're gonna put in some butter. We are gonna save a little bit of butter for our broccoli, because we're just gonna do some steamed broccoli tonight. So we're gonna put in a little bit of butter for our potatoes. We have just a little bit of cream cheese left, so we're gonna put that in. We've got some Parmesan cheese. I wanted to make these cheesy potatoes, so we are gonna put in our Parmesan cheese. We're just gonna literally put every single thing that we need to put in our potatoes right in here, with the exception of our chives. We are gonna do some dried chives in here. We're gonna put in a little bit of heavy cream in our potatoes. If we need more liquid, we will finish it with a little bit of regular milk, because I need to make our Tuscan sauce for our chicken. So we're gonna go ahead and start mashing our potatoes. I'm not gonna put salt in these yet, because I wanna taste these with that Parmesan cheese in them, because the Parm has quite a bit of salt in it, and so I don't want these to be overly salty. And I can tell that we definitely need some more liquid. So let's grab some milk. Let's put a little whole milk in here. So while we're mashing these, I'm going to tell you about this broccoli right here. So we used this last week, I think it was. We got it at Costco. It's a great deal. It's $10, $9.99 I think it is. You get 4 1-pound bags in here. They're just like this. So my only problem with these is they're a microwave bag, but I did them for like 7 minutes and they were still frozen and still cold. So I'm going to bypass using the bag and I'm going to go back to using my vegetable steamer that I always use. And I appreciate their trying to make things super convenient, but it just doesn't work for me. So I'm not gonna waste my time trying to deal with a bag when I don't need to. So let's put our milk away. We can deal with our broccoli in a couple minutes. But for right now, we need to get our chicken going in our skillet over here. We can finish everything else while the chicken's cooking. I need to grab my scissors. All right, so this is a giant chicken breast. Way too big for either one of us to eat the entire thing. So we are going to cut this in half and make 2 smaller chicken breasts out of this one. I do want to trim it a little bit. I don't like it when they have chunks of fat still on it, or I am kind of picky with my chicken. I don't like seeing like the veins and stuff that they leave in the chicken. I'm weird. I just can't do it. So I have to trim it. All right, so here's our ginormous chicken breast. We're just gonna go palm down, flat, so that you're cutting towards the flat part of your palm. You're not cutting into your hand, you're just cutting the chicken itself. And there we end up with 2 pieces of chicken ready for us to season and get them in the pan. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on these. We're gonna season one side at a time so that we can put our seasoned side down in our pan so that we can season the other. Because if we were to try to season both sides, we end up losing a lot of our seasoning on our cutting board, and we don't want to do that. So let's get our heat turned on for our burner while we get our chicken seasoned up. So we have some of our Redmond's real salt. We're just going to do a nice coating of our salt. I'm really loving this Redmond's real salt. If you're not familiar with this, this is amazing salt. It absolutely is amazing. And I will leave a link in the description for Redmond's real salt, but I'll also leave a link for, there's another YouTube channel that I follow. It's called Acre Homestead. It's Becky. She's from Washington State. And she actually took all of us on a tour in one of her videos of the Redmond real salt mine. And it's so cool to get to see how they mine this salt. This is one of the only companies that actually has pure salt that has not been cut with other things. It hasn't been modified. It is just pure salt right from the earth that they take it, and then they put this, they grind it up into whatever type of grind you need. They have, you know, big chunks of it. They've got fine grind. They've got all different types of it. And so it's just really fascinating to get to see how they do this. So I'll leave a link for you guys of that video that Becky did when she took us all to the mine. So we're gonna get our butter melted. We're gonna grab some pepper. We're gonna put a little pepper on our chicken. And this Tuscan chicken comes together super, super quick. It doesn't take very long, especially since I cut our chicken in half. So we're gonna let this finish. So while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and do our broccoli. Let's get our broccoli into our, this is just a Pampered Chef vegetable steamer, a rice steamer too. I've never steamed rice in it, but I do steam veggies in it all the time, and I love the way it steams them. And after trying to deal with this steamer a couple weeks ago when I did it, I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to use their bag anymore, because it has, when you put it in there, the way that it lays in the microwave, you end up with hot spots. And so you end up with the pieces at the top and the bottom that are hot, and the stuff in the middle is still frozen. So it's just not worth it to me to deal with it that way. So we're just gonna do it this way. It's gonna be a lot easier. All right, our butter is going. We're gonna bring our chicken over. We're gonna come over and we're gonna season the other side. So we're gonna go ahead and put our broccoli. It's in our steamer in our microwave. We're gonna microwave it for let's do about 4 minutes and we'll try it there. See how we are. While we are waiting for our chicken, we're gonna go ahead and put in some dried chives into our mashed potatoes. I love chive and mashed potatoes. It's a very classic combination. We're just gonna stir those in. Just a little bit more. I really love chive and potatoes. Oh, they're really good. They need salt. I can taste the onion powder and the garlic powder we put in them earlier. But I think all it was lacking was just a little bit of salt. All right. So we don't have to dirty up another spoon. We're just gonna drop a little bit off our spatula. Oh, much better. All right, we're just gonna leave our spatula in here. Put our lid back on. All right, I'm gonna show you our chicken. That is some beautiful color. We're gonna turn that over and let it cook on the other side for a couple minutes. And then we're going to start building our sauce. We have our garlic, we have our cream, our spinach, and our sun-dried tomatoes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull our chicken. We're going to grab our garlic press, and we're going to go ahead and put our garlic in here. Oh, that garlic smells so good. All right, we're done with our garlic press. Let's grab a spoon so we can kind of swirl that around. We're going to go ahead and put in our sun-dried tomatoes now. We can grab a little pair of tongs. So I don't want a whole lot of this juice in here. We want to get these tomatoes in here. Okay, I think that's probably enough. We're going to go ahead and add our heavy cream. Okay, we're going to grab a little more. Okay, I love this chicken. This chicken looks so good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our chicken back in here. We're going to let this finish cooking with our sauce. And while that's cooking, let's go ahead and get all of our juice. This is all flavor. It was on that plate, so we wanted to make sure we got that in there. Now we are going to put in some spinach, because we want our spinach to cook down and wilt a little bit. So we're just going to pile this right on top of our chicken. Let this start to melt or start to wilt down a little bit. And that's just going to cook for probably maybe 10 minutes until our chicken is up to temperature, our spinach is nice and wilted. We're going to grab our little chunk of Parmesan cheese rind that we have right here in the bag. We're going to drop that in there, kind of nestle that down there in that sauce. Cover it up with some spinach. And while our chicken is cooking, we're going to grate some more Parmesan cheese because we need to put some parm in this when this is done. But this is smelling amazing. So good. All right, so we're gonna let that cook and we'll come back and put cheese in it. All right, so we have our chicken. Our chicken is done. Our sauce is ready. We're gonna put in a little bit of Parmesan cheese and stir this around. Get our cheese mixed into our sauce. Our microwave just went off with our broccoli in it. So we're just going to give this a minute to let our parm melt into our sauce. This looks so good. I love all the colors with the tomatoes and the chicken. And this is going to be so pretty with the mashed potatoes. Typically this recipe goes with pasta. But I wasn't in the mood for pasta tonight. So I just decided to do something a little bit different and to do mashed potatoes. We haven't had mashed potatoes for a while, so it sounded good, but that's the thing is when it's your kitchen, you can do whatever you want. So we're gonna check our broccoli real quick. Even using my steamer, it's still taking quite a while for the broccoli to get done, but it looks like it's done now. It's steaming pretty good, so I think we're good with that now. So we are going to go ahead and plate this up. Our sauce is nice and thick. Have some mashed potatoes. Remember, we have our mashed potatoes in our crock pot over here. So we're gonna grab a scoop of those. Put those on our plate so we have our beautiful mashed potatoes with our chives in it. We're gonna put some broccoli down here. Let's grab a little pair of tongs or something. This broccoli, because it's frozen, it does have quite a bit of water in it, and so I wouldn't recommend dumping it onto your plate because that's gonna create a waterfall on your plate and nobody wants to eat runny vegetables. So there's our potatoes and our broccoli. We're gonna grab a piece of chicken. Put our chicken down. And then we're gonna grab some of our sauce that has our spinach and our sun-dried tomatoes and all that beautiful cheese and cream that has made this beautiful sauce. And there it is. There is our Tuscan chicken, broccoli, and mashed potatoes, ready for Valentine's dinner. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen today as we made a delicious dinner for my husband to surprise him for Valentine's Day. I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy my new faucet I showed you guys a minute ago. It's going to make doing dishes fun. But I want to thank you guys again for spending time with me. It means so much to me that you guys would stop by my channel, that you would be interested in what I'm doing here. If you guys like this recipe, please give it a thumbs up for me. That's how we get these recipes and these videos out there for people to see them, is the more likes we get, the further out it gets, and the more people get to see it. So that always helps too. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell up there for me so you get notified every time we upload a new video, because we're trying to upload right now at least once a week, or at least once a day. So I hope you guys will join me. Let's check out the other videos that I have. This is going to be in a Valentine video, so just keep looking for that playlist. It's going to be there. I'll put this in there for you guys to see. But there's our delicious dinner, and I'm excited to go eat this. Have a great evening, friends, and happy Valentine's Day to you, and God bless.